Sarah sat alone at the small round table in the corner of the old cafe. Rain fell quietly outside the window. She was 64 years old. Her coffee had gone cold. Tears stood silently in her eyes. Many years earlier, she had first met Daniel right here in this same quiet cafe. He was 29 then. He came every morning for strong black coffee and a kind word. Sarah worked behind the counter. Daniel always said thank you with a bright, warm smile. He asked how her day was going. Soon their short talks became longer each morning. They spoke about favorite books, old songs, simple dreams. Daniel had a young heart full of energy. He loved new music, weekend adventures, loud laughter with friends. Sarah had an old soul. She loved silence, slow evening walks, deep, quiet thoughts. One rainy afternoon, Daniel waited until Sarah finished her shift. He asked if she would like to walk with him along the river. She felt surprised, but said yes quietly. They walked side by side along the calm river path. They did not speak much at first. Then words came slowly. They held hands without planning it. The water moved softly beside them. For the first time in many years, Sarah felt her heart beat a little faster. Daniel looked at her with gentle eyes. The evening felt kind and full of possibility. People soon noticed them together in the small town. Some smiled secretly. Most whispered behind hands. He is so much younger. She could be his mother. The words reached Sarah. Sarah's only daughter called more often after hearing the news. "Mom, think about 10 years from now," she said carefully. Daniel's best friend laughed loudly. "Find someone who can keep up." They decided not to listen to the voices around them. After one full year, they moved in together. They found a small flat with windows facing the river. Life felt fresh again. Mornings became calm and sweet. They sat together drinking coffee slowly. Daniel played new songs on his small speaker. Sarah read short poems aloud to him. They smiled often. Evenings stayed soft and slow. Daniel cooked quick, simple meals. Sarah set the table with care. They ate slowly and talked about small things from the day. Then little differences began to appear more clearly. Daniel wanted short weekend trips to new places. Sarah preferred quiet days at home with books. He loved loud concerts. She loved early rest. Daniel started going out with friends more often. He came home later each week. Sarah waited on the sofa with the light on. The apartment felt bigger and emptier. One night he stayed out until early morning. Sarah sat by the dark window. She called his number again and again. No answer came. Tears fell slowly down her face. When Daniel finally returned, he looked tired and sorry. "I lost track of time with friends," he said quietly. Sarah nodded but said nothing. Inside, she felt cold and small. Sarah began walking alone to the river almost every afternoon. She watched young people run and laugh together. She remembered her own young days long ago. Regret grew heavy inside. Daniel spoke less when he was home. His answers became short and distant. Sarah felt ignored and forgotten. She felt like a shadow moving through her own house. She cried silently in the bathroom many times. She looked to the mirror and saw more lines on her face. She thought, "I am too old for his young heart now." One quiet evening, Sarah sat on the floor with an old box of photos. She looked at Daniel's bright young smile in the pictures. She saw her own tired face. She whispered sorry. Daniel came home earlier than usual that night. He saw her crying over the photos. He sat down beside her slowly. "Sarah, Please talk to me, he said very gently. They talked until the sky became light again. Daniel said honestly, I love your calm old soul, but my young heart still wants to run and explore. Sarah answered with a small voice, I love your bright energy, but my old soul and body are slow and tired now. They looked at each other for a long time. They cried together quietly. Daniel held her hand tightly. Maybe we hurt each other without meaning to, Sarah whispered. Daniel shook his head slowly. Maybe we teach each other instead. After that night, things changed slowly. Daniel stayed home more evenings. They walked together by the river again. They spoke openly about their fears and hopes. Sarah's daughter visited one weekend. She watched them carefully during dinner. She saw real care and understanding. Mom, you both look peaceful now, she said softly. One bright afternoon, Daniel spoke quietly while they sat on the park bench. Your old soul teaches me how to rest and listen. My young heart gives you new strength and light. Sarah looked at him and nodded slowly. She felt seen and understood. They stopped trying to change one another. They accepted what each person brought to the other. Many years passed gently. Sarah sat again at the same small table in the corner cafe. Daniel sat beside her now. His hair had turned gray like hers. They drank coffee slowly, just like the old days. Rain fell softly outside once more. Sarah reached over and touched Daniel's hand. She felt deep peace inside. The young heart had learned patience and stillness. The old soul had found new energy and hope. Together they carried time with gentle love. Their story became complete.